Hi, I'm Jules, a speech pathologist of 16 years. The question is, what is speech and language delay? And is it typical, expected? What does it mean? So the general answer to that is we know that there are children who will present with the speech and language delay. However, the new terminology is speech and language difficulty. So research suggests that about 12 to 18% of children will have some difficulty in their natural development of communication skills. There is a higher precedence around boys. Okay, so obviously we can see that there is a genetic element associated with that. What we do know is that it's not anybody's fault. It's not the parents' fault. It's not the child's fault. It is absolutely not linked to blame or something you did do or something you didn't do. We as clinicians and all the research that has gone into speech and language developments, difficulties, delays, know that there is expected, it's normal, it's natural that there will be children who find this naturally difficult. So when some people say red flags or, oh no, there's a difficulty or a difference here, it's actually not helpful or not useful because we're expecting that and we know that that's going to be taking place. That's why we're here. That's why educators are aware and we support parents, and that's why community health exists for speech and language to help parents and children navigate that, support them in a way that's meaningful for them so that they can learn in a way that is helpful for that particular learning style. Okay, so some of these children may be neurodivergent and have a different brain connection, which means they're going to learn and interact differently. They're going to perceive stimuli and the environment differently. And we're aware of this. We definitely are not calling them red flags. We're not concerned. We're not looking at why this happened. We know it's a natural occurrence with a strong genetic link. Okay, obviously, as I mentioned, 4 times more common with boys. What this means is your child, yes, will continue to learn. They will continue to grow. They will continue to learn, have fun, have their interests, have relationships and friendships, and have passions and have their personality. It is not a categorization if a child does receive a diagnosis of language delay or a diagnosis of ADHD or autism or developmental delay. That absolutely does not define them in any way, shape, or form of their personality. It simply will describe some differences and some needs that they have generally. So please be aware that when we're with your children, we are aware that that they do have needs and it's completely natural. And we hope to help educate parents and help you guys get support as well to understand that it is completely appropriate. So we see children of speech pathologists, pediatricians, doctors. Some of you may or may not know our youngest son, has a speech and language difficulty. I remember one parent saying to me, oh, I bet your children must be just perfect. And I remember, and her son at the time was same age and using more words and a lot more communicative than our son. And I just remember saying, yes, yeah, our kids are perfect. And one is speech and language delayed. So I see it as a natural, development that, a natural part of a person's individuality that can be there. If it was going to be there, it was always going to be there. And things absolutely can and will change over time. So probably being in this industry for like 16 years, it was the first time I was probably not afraid or not as anxious about having a child with additional needs or having a child who needs support, because I can see that it is something that happens and I can see the path and I know that what's going to happen and what's going to take place. So a lot of that fear of the unknown isn't there for people who work in that industry. But for obviously parents who are going through this initially, it can be extremely overwhelming. 10 million questions. Parents' brain, every brain is naturally designed, if something's different, to come up with ideas about what happened. And, as an expert in the field with 2 master's degree degrees in this area. What did I do when I found out, or I could see from an early age, that my son was developing differently? It was like I panicked, and I did what every parent has done, or they share with me that they've done. Was it this? Was it that? Was it, the questions and, reflecting back. And that is a natural thing that our brain does to come up with solutions. So if you're doing that, just know you have a natural response to a situation that you're probably unfamiliar with at first. So, it is a good time to also speak to a psychologist and speak to your clinician about that further, because we can absolutely help you throw that idea in the bin, or the thought that it is somehow your fault or your husband's fault or anyone's fault, and really get rid of that myth that did exist years ago. So just know, look, it happened to me, and I was really surprised, but also able to move through that with the knowledge and the supports, and just reflecting back on what I actually do know, and what we know to be true. So I hope that answered the question. If you do have more questions, feel free to keep asking. I'm happy to answer them.